Brazil are out of the World Cup with Norway beating them 2-1. Yali, ridiculous result. But before I get into it, brother, I want to hear your thoughts. Give me your immediate reaction to this game.
Kanske nästa gang Brazil. That means maybe next time in Norwegian. Clowns. Absolute clowns. I mean, we said it. If you saw our preview video when he came to Brazil, we said it, and we want to give props to Norway, and we also want to give props to Brazil. We want to thank them for participating, for coming every 4 years to the World Cup, and giving all of us a great watch, a great experience to watch. Thank you, Brazil. Once again, let me say it again in Norwegian. Kanskje nesta gang Brazil. That means maybe next time Brazil in Norwegian. Don't worry, in 4 years we'll be here when another European nation like Denmark or Switzerland or somebody like that knocks you out, and I'll be here in that and I'll say the same thing in that language. So like you guys wait for me in 4 years.
Incredible hate there from you, man. Honestly, I don't expect anything else. But to get into the game itself, look at that starting 11 from Norway, exactly what we expected, right? It's been the pretty much the same starting 11 with the strongest team that he's been fielding. Whereas Ancelotti's 11 for Brazil is has Martinelli in the 10. And that tells me that this is a manager who still doesn't really understand what his best team is. It tells me this is a manager that still has not found the right balance. It tells me that this is a manager that the lack of a natural creative midfielder, which his Brazil team has been lacking for God knows how long now, is something that required him to be inventing. But for you to be with this team for as long as you have been, and you're putting players out of position and fielding an 11 that, from a tactical perspective, has no real balance, I'm shocked by that. Whereas on the other side, yeah, I'm sure you saw this. At halftime, the Norwegian manager, whose name I don't even know, made two very big substitutions that I think changed the way that his team looked going forward. And that was Schlesinger for Nusa, who Nusa was having a terrible game, and Oscar Bob for Sorloth. Sorloth at the right wing kind of struggles at almost natural number 9 who has to play there because of Holland. And putting Oscar Bob gave him a natural out on the right wing whilst also being able to double up on Vinicius when Brazil is on the attack. Fantastic tactical adjustments. So to see that level of proactive change from a Norwegian manager whose name I don't even know, a guy who's probably is either a dentist or a school teacher, and this is his part-time job, because I've never seen this guy before in my life. The fact that this guy is making tactical tweaks and adjustments and substitutions in a knockout game, whereas Ancelotti's over here relying on his eyebrows, hoping to get a result out of his team. Like, brother, this isn't Ronaldo, Benzema, and Bale. Like, this is a Brazil team that is not that good, that actually requires, you to impose yourself on the team, to be proactive and to make tactical adjustments in the game. Incredible.
Yeah. We said it. We said that it would have been better for Brazil to hire the best tactical manager from the Brazilian team instead of Ancelotti. You want to know like where Ancelotti would be amazing? In France. If you put him in
Yeah.
France, he would walk like the World Cup. But the thing is, and I know people love to get mad about it, when we call Ancelotti a vibes coach, he's not a good tactical coach. That's why every time he's gone to a big team, he's done good, especially in knockout competitions. Why? Because you see that result in March, April, May. That's why he's dog shit in leagues. I know everybody's gonna come and say, "Oh, he's won every league that he's been on." Yeah, because he's been coaching for 40 years and he has like 6 total league titles. Yeah, he has one in each league, but so you see that, and then like what you pointed out about like the Norwegian manager, I signed 100%. I will sign everything you said with blood. This guy came and he danced on him tactically. He
Yeah.
knew everything that he was gonna do. He knew who he had to press. They knew to go along with Holland because Holland was gonna win. And also,
Yes.
just so I mean, I just like this just came to my mind, Javi, but I want your thoughts on it. If you're Brazil, right? Like from the Brazil standpoint, you know that Norway they're gonna go and like play along to Holland, right? I'm more likely than not he's gonna probably win it. So you want guys to win the second balls, right? And what do? You put 2 guys in midfield only. That's why every time Holland would win like that like a header, the second ball, like I'm actually gonna go now when we're done here. I'm gonna look at that stat. I'm pretty sure Norway won at least 10 balls, just second balls, because every time
Yep.
Holland would just bring it down, it was a bunch of Norway guys there by themselves.
Yep.
And then Ancelotti's doing all these things, all these moves, and
Bro,
then
and also like no intensity from Brazil. They weren't pressing them. They weren't trying to get the ball. brother. Like Norway, like, and honestly, a credit to Norway. Like their game plan was to slow the game down, keep possession, play on defensive first. They didn't want it to be a basketball match with a constant back and forth because they knew Vinicius was going to kill them doing that, right? They like even when they had space to go in behind, they slowed the game down. And at one point, bro, it looked like they were in a training session just doing rondos. I mean, they had these Brazilian players like when they actually did try to press them, just doing rondos. It was like complete and utter dominance. You would think that it was Norway who were the 5-time World Cup winners. It was listen, an incredibly bore fest. Let's call it what it was. Very slow game, but it was up to Brazil. The pressure was on them to make it an intense game, to play out a rhythm that suited them. But the rhythm for 90 minutes was played at Norway's tempo, and that is crazy to me. Crazy to me, bro. And I think that
Yeah,
comes down to Ancelotti.
yeah, like what you said about like pressing. When you see a team that is not in sync when they go pressing, like why is that? Because they don't know how to press. They don't know where
That
to
hasn't
press.
been trained.
Like when one guy presses, like the other one doesn't know where he has to go, and that comes down to tactics. And we've
Yep.
been saying this over and over and over again. And a lot of people, like myself, because we're haters and they want to, hide the sun with just one hand. It doesn't work that way. Everybody knows. Ancelotti's strong suit is being, like a man manager, an Eagles guy that he's gonna
Yeah.
go and like work with them. And then at the end of the season, you're gonna see that, like that work for him. That's why all of his players they go and they die for him and they'll kill for him. In this type of tournaments, we're seeing it. This is no rejecting guy, brother. You could put the guy in front of me. I would think that guy's my Uber driver. And this guy comes out here, and like you said, at the end of the game, Norway look like goddamn Pep Guardiola's Barcelona doing rounds around this guy.
Yep.
Like I'm
Yep.
pretty sure that like at halftime he stopped for a minute and said, "Okay, Nusa is literally playing for them. Solo is like slower than my grandmother, and this guys have Danilo in big 2026. I'm some guy from the Brazilian league at left back. Let me like spice it up a little thing, like a little bit.
Yeah.
Next thing you see,
Brave,
the left winger
proactive, smart.
like the left winger 2 assists and Oscar Bob looks like Messi. And Ancelotti's just there like, yeah, yeah. Let me put Neymar in big 2026 as a number 9. Yeah, yeah, that's gonna work.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, this is a
And
joke.
ridiculous. And you know what? I'm gonna drop a link to the video that we did on Brazil where we talked about this, where we talked about how modern football was leaving them behind, how we talked about Ancelotti was not the right man for the job. So people can see that we've been saying this before a ball was even kicked at this World Cup. I'm gonna drop that link to that video at the end of this video. But yeah, apart from Ancelotti, in our preview, we discussed all the different duels and battles that were going to be on the pitch, and we talked about how this was either going to be a tight game. So we talked about this was either going to be a game where they're outscoring one another, or was going to be a tight game where the big stars and the big moments were going to turn up. Erling Haaland showed up in 2 very big moments, scoring 2 fantastic goals. Whereas the guy that we were looking at and for the Brazilian national team was Vinicius Jr. We said that this is the guy that needs to turn up on the day and win the game for his country. Brazil gets a penalty in the first half, and it's Bruno Guimaraes taking the penalty.
Yeah.
And he misses it. In these kind of games, your big players, your big moments players are the ones that need to turn up and win these games for you. Bruno Guimaraes, great player. Hell, he might even be the best penalty taker in training at this Brazilian national team. Very well so. But how many big games has that guy played in his career, compared to Vinicius? How many big games has that guy played in his career compared to Vinicius? How is he not taking that penalty? How is he not? And then the funniest part of all, Neymar, who should have no business being in this Brazilian team, let's call it straight. Your team is losing 2-0. You're about to get knocked out of a World Cup in the round of 16, and you're over here making it about you and beefing with the Norwegian goalkeeper. You're a clown. Absolute clown. I mean, how did Vinicius not take
Um,
that penalty,
I'm gonna tell you something, Javi. I mean, we're obviously not fans of Vinicius at all. But a
No.
few years ago, one thing that you had to give this kid, this player, is that he had balls. And he had balls, and I've seen him, like you said, take penalties in semifinals in the Allianz Arena against Manuel Neuer. He will take the ball and say, I got this. And now, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if it's after the Ballon d'Or thing. I don't know if it's the Mbappe thing. Let's be honest, he shut on himself. He was scared. He was scared. He did not want to have the responsibility of taking the penalty.
No.
And the thing that drives me crazy, the game just started. The game just started. It's no. Like this is the best penalty that you could take.
Yeah.
and you don't want to take it. You want to give it to Bruno Guimaraes. You got
Might as well
scared.
give it to
You got
Gabriel.
scared. I'm, that would have been. Like I would have, like that game was playing in New Jersey. That ball would have landed in New York in Times Square. That ball would have landed. That guy would have taken it. And then you have a guy like Holland, 2 chances, and bye bye.
Wrap it up. And bye bye is what we're saying to Brazil. Crazy, crazy, absolutely insane. But congratulations to Norway, a phenomenal World Cup, and be careful
Amazing,
with
amazing.
them because they have the
Yeah,
physicality. They showed they can defend against a very tricky winger. They show that they can control the ball. They show they can control the tempo, and they have the best striker, at least the best finisher in world football right now, in fantastic form. And they are playing without pressure, without expectation, without any burden. They are enjoying themselves. So be careful for them because I wouldn't be surprised if there's another upset in the next round. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know what you think about this Brazilian exit. Fantastic game by Norway, terrible execution from Brazil, a little bit of both. Would love to know your thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next.